Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second section of our web development series. Okay, the first section was all about HTML. We did a whole lot of things in HTML. We understood the structure of websites. We had to deal with paragraphs, line breaks, many things in HTML. Okay, in case you are new to this channel, I want you to go back and check where we started. Okay, on this web development series. Now we are going to talk about CSS. Okay, like I made mention during the introduction of the web development series, that CSS is actually the styling of our website. Okay, when you check through what we did in HTML, you notice that we just had more like a skeleton of a website. Okay, now CSS is actually the way you can style your website and make it look, beautiful, and have some colors, and however way you want it. All right, and make it stand out there. So what I've done so far is I have just created my HTML file. Of course, we know how to do that. I already have a folder of assets, even though we are not going to make use of that right now. So I just want you to go ahead and create your own file and name it anything but having an extension of .html, and then I want you to follow suit on what we're gonna do right now. So I'm just gonna run my live server. I'll open my live server, and of course nothing will be here for now. All right, it's just an empty page. So I will just go back to my code editor, and then I will want us to understand something here. There are three ways of writing CSS. Okay, first one is inline CSS, and second one is internal CSS, and the last one is external CSS. Okay, so we are really gonna just go through these three, okay, on this video. All right, so let's start with an inline CSS. I'm just gonna write this in the comments: inline CSS. Okay, so let's say we have a paragraph, and we say this paragraph is just having 20 words. Okay, and we're just gonna check it on the web, and we are seeing it on the web right now. So let's say we want this paragraph to have more like a color of white and a background color of blue. Okay, remember, CSS is all about you trying to design your web pages. Okay, adding colors and all the rest of it. All right, so let's say we want this our paragraph to have a background color of blue and then a color of white. So let's start with inline CSS. Now whenever you're trying to write an inline CSS, all I want you to do is in that your opening tag, okay, in that your opening tag, just go ahead and write in style as an attribute, and then you can now write the particular property that you need. Let me say I want the background color, like I mentioned. So I'll just say background color, and it's already out here. I can click on it, and it gives me this colon, and then after the colon I can write in the color I want. Okay, let me say I want background color of blue. Okay, I just write blue. All right, and save my work. When I save it, I can check up my browser, and then you can see that I have the background color to be blue, like I made mention earlier, but my text is actually black and I want it to be white. Okay, so all I have to do is go back to my code. Okay, let me say I want an extra property. I'll just go ahead and add colon. All right, I add colon at the end of my at the end of that blue. Okay, another blue, I just write semicolon, rather, sorry for that, semicolon, and then I can now add another property that I want. All right, so let me say the color this time around is gonna be white. Okay, just like this. All right, it's gonna be white, and then when I save it and check out my work, as you can see, the color becomes white. All right, there are so many things about CSS, and we are going to look at those things right in the future. Okay, so let me just recap on what I said. I say that whenever you're trying to make an inline styling, remember this is an inline CSS. Whenever you're trying to make an inline CSS, all you have to do is in that opening tag of the proper of the element you want to style. Okay, there are so many elements, but I'm making use of a paragraph right now, so I'm trying to style my paragraph. Okay, let's say inside of that here, and then you just have to write in style. After writing the style, followed by a quotation, okay, a quotation, then write in the property that you need. Okay, in my own case I needed background color, so I just have to write the property background color like this, and then followed by a colon, and then followed by the um what's it called again, the color I want. All right, now if you want to add another property, all you need to do is to just add semicolon at the end of the first one. Okay, remember the first one was ended in blue, and then all I had to do was just add semicolon, and then this time around I want to work with color. Okay, all I have to do was just writing color and then having the color I want. You can also make use of color codes, all right, like hashtag y should be fff, right? Good. And it will still give you that same thing. Okay, now this is for inline css. Now let's say you want to write let's say you want to write internal css. Okay, because I made mention that we have of three kinds. Okay, inline css, internal css, and finally external css. Okay, so we have done for inline css. Let's do for internal css. All I have to do is just to remove the style that I have in my inline here. Okay, and just save my file and then check out my code again. Is actually my web is actually at the default mode. Okay, then I can remove this. Now for internal css, how it works is actually that you just have to write in a tag, okay, on an element known as style, like this, having an open and a closing tag. Okay, it has an open and a closing tag, and then you can now begin to style what you want. Let me say I want to style my p. Okay, remember when I was trying to do the inline, I just had to go into this particular one and then style my inline. All right, now I want to style my p. Now all you have to do is to just take up the particular element or tag that you want to style. Like we have p here, I want to style my p. All I have to do is just to go ahead and write p. Okay, like such. Remember it will be inside the style element. Okay, inside the style element. All right, and in between the open and the closing tag of it. All right, so when you are done writing the p, all I want you to do is open a curly brace like this. Okay, a curly brace like this, and then begin to write what you want. All right, the property name followed by the attribute that you want. That is let's say I want my background color this time around to be yellow. I begin to write it like this, background and then color, like such, and then I can now write in yellow like such. Okay, I can now have it here. Yeah, I can save my work and then check it out. As you can see, my background color changed it towards yellow. Okay, I can also go ahead and change the color, the same thing, the same way, followed by a colon here. And then what color do I want? Let me say I want yeah, white. Okay, I will just write in white. All right, and then I can now save my work and check it out again, and it shows white here. Okay, it's obvious, you cannot see it clearly, but as you can see, but the color here changes towards white. Let me say I want a green color. Okay, I can just change it to green. Whatever color that you desire, just go ahead and change it and it will reflect here. Okay, this is basically for internal css. Okay, let me assume you have another element. Okay, let's say you have another element. There's an element known as div. Okay, and let's say this div has a text of about 30. Okay, all right, div is also a HTML element. Okay, and in the future we are going to be making use of div so well, more than some other element. There are also other elements like section. Okay, there are many of them. All right, but we're just gonna be making use of the ones we need mostly in this series. Okay, so when I come back, I've saved my file. When I come back to the browser and check it out, I can see that my div is not styled. Okay, if by the venture I want to style my div, all I have to do is to just still inside the in between the style elements. Okay, but then after the closing bracer of my p, because I'm done with the p already, all I have to do is to go ahead and then type in the element name, which is div, and I can just say I can copy this. Okay, I can copy this, and let me say that I want this one now to be red here, and then this one now to be white. Okay, I can just save the file and I'll have it here, as you can see, and that is how you can do for internal styling. Now how about external styling? Okay, external CSS basically is what we normally make use of. Okay, it is hard for us to make use of internal CSS or even inline CSS. All right, to make your work more neat and a bit professional, all you have to do is just take the discipline yourself to be able to write a external CSS. Okay, it's quite simple, it's quite smooth. Okay, so how can you go about that? All you have to do for me is to go ahead and just, we already have index HTML here. All I want you to do is to go ahead and create a new file by clicking on this icon here, and then you can now write maybe any name you want it. Okay, you can say style. Okay, you can call it index, whatever thing you want to call it. Let me just say style in my own case. Let me say style dot. Now remember, our HTML had an extension of .html, but now we are gonna have an extension of what? .css in our own case right now. All right. Okay, now whenever you write an extension of .css, as you can see my icon here, okay, it changed it and it recognizes this CSS. Actually it's writing, if you can see it clearly, it says 3 here. Okay, that's 3, and then the HTML is 5 because we're working with the latest version of HTML, which is HTML5, and then this is the latest CSS, which is CSS3. That's why you're seeing 5 here and then 3 here. Okay, by the way, let's just continue. Now that we have done this, we have created our file, which is gonna serve as our external file. All I want you to do, let's say we want to retain this style. Okay, let's say we want to make use of this same style on the external CSS. All you have to do is to copy everything inside here outside except the style element. Okay, except the style element, then come here and paste it. All right, when you paste it, you can save it, and then you can remove these style elements here. Okay, when you go ahead and check your work, you'll notice that absolutely there's nothing here. Okay, the style is not been reflecting. The style is not reflecting because we are not calling. Remember, we are running live server on this HTML. We are not running live server on CSS, and you cannot run live server on CSS. But instead, everything we are doing is actually based on this HTML. So we need to, in one way or the other, make our HTML to recognize our CSS. And how can we do that? There's a simple way to go about that. Just in your head elements. Okay, just in your head elements, either before the title or after the title, anyone at all. I want you to go ahead and just write, if you're using this Visual Studio Code, it's quite simple. Just say link. Okay, and then you see CSS here. Remember, we are just making use of this because it actually gives us this short form, and we can just get things done easily. Just click on that link CSS. It will now give you the correct code, which is this, on how you can link your CSS. Okay, basically when you type link, okay, you will see CSS and you can just click on it. All right, but in case it doesn't come out, all you have to do is you just go ahead and type it manually by saying link and then rel equal to style sheet. Okay, search star and then sheet, and then you can close your quotation, and then you can now give the very location of that your CSS. Okay, and then you can close it like this now. Okay, now in this our href, we are going to talk about where the CSS is located, just the same way we did for image, audio, video, while we are still working on HTML. Okay, all you have to do is just dot slash. Okay, dot slash, and you're gonna see the files under this file. Okay, or in the same directory as this our index.html. So we have our CSS, which is here, and we're having it here. All you have to do is just click on it and it will recognize this your CSS, and you can now come and check your web, and you are seeing your web being displayed just the same way you needed it. Okay, you can just come here in case you want to make any changes. You can just come here. Let me say I want here to be purple this time around. I'll just come here and change it to what? Purple, and after changing it, just save it and then go back to your browser and it changes to purple. All right, this is what I just want you to know about CSS for now. And right in the next episode, we are going to talk about some other CSS properties and how we can design add more styles on our web. See you right there in the next episode. Thank you.